Several months back, I think it's maybe been close to a year now, I tried the Jones Road line of makeup. And to be honest with you, you guys probably know this, I didn't like it at all, not one bit. And in that video, I did not pull any punches. I laid out exactly what my feelings were about the makeup. I thought it was ridiculous. I thought it was sticky. There was just really not much that I liked about it. However, there were a few products that I thought were really good, and I've continued to use them. What has happened since then is I have heard from a lot of you, not the majority, not even close to the majority of my viewers, maybe 10% of my viewers have said they love it and they don't know what I'm talking about, that it's the answer to their prayers, which I get because when I ordered the Jones Road products, I was so excited. I ended up spending my own money, a whole bunch of money, like close to $500 on the products because it looked so good. It looked so good. It looked quick. It looked hydrating. It looked beautiful. However, in application, it just didn't work for me. A lot of you have said to me, you got it wrong. You got it wrong. This stuff is amazing and you should really try it again. In addition, a couple of other things have happened in that time frame since I did that video. The first one is I have a really good girlfriend who loves it. Absolutely loves it. And the kicker is it looks fabulous on her. I cannot tell you how many times I've looked at her face and said, what are you wearing? And it ends up being Jones Road. So there's a piece of information. And then Wayne Goss recently came out with a video, at least I think it was recent, I saw it recently, where he tried the Jones Road WTF, which is what the foundation, and said it was one of the best foundations he'd ever come across. So now I'm thinking, maybe I got it wrong. Welcome in, I'm Kimberly. This is Pretty Over 50, where we talk everything beauty, fitness, and lifestyle for the over 50 woman. I'm so glad you stopped by today. I think this is gonna be a fun one. And honestly, I don't know how it's gonna end. So stick with me. If you're new here, I hope you'll consider subscribing while you're here and make sure you click that notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. And if you want all the good stuff, you might want to sign up for my Sunday morning email newsletter. The link is in the description box down below. Every Sunday morning, I send out a very short, very sweet, very popular email newsletter featuring all the cool pieces of information I found throughout the week. It could be a good recipe or something on Instagram that I absolutely have to share with you. A great sale, something I love, whatever I would share with you if we were out together having coffee, that's what goes in the Sunday morning email newsletter. It is extremely popular. I think it's the most popular thing about my channel. Sunday mornings, women grab their coffee, read the email newsletter, watch the Sunday video. It's a whole thing. It's super easy to sign up, super free, super fun. Link is in the description box down below. I think you're going to love it. When I did that video on Jones Road, I did not pull any punches. I just said what I felt about it, which was not positive. Here's the upshot of that. Jones Road, the company, they were so gracious. I'm not kidding you. They were so nice and so professional and so kind. They just said, okay, well, that doesn't work for you. How about this? And how about this? Anywho, what I'm leading up to is they really, really managed it well. They did not get offended at all. They were just really, really gracious and have continued to send me Jones Road products over the months. So after I saw Wayne Goss's video where he said that foundation is amazing, I thought about it for a couple of weeks and I sent Jones Road an email and I said, can I try this stuff again? And they sent me the products very graciously and included a little handwritten note in the package. So what I'm going to be trying today is the WTF. This is the What the Foundation. Let me open it up for you right here. So it's right here. That's going to be kind of the start of what we're going to do today. And then I also asked them to send me the Hero Collection. This is a collection of products and it comes in two colorways. One is pinky, which I got. And then the other one, I don't remember the name of it, but it's more of a coral tone. So let's go ahead and open this up. Comes comes in this cute little package. It's like a brown paper bag with a little snap right here. And it has in it, I'm making a lot of noise here. So it has in the Best Pencil, also has the Jones Road Mascara. It has the eye cream. I'm wondering if I should put that on before I put my makeup on. Maybe we'll set this aside and I'll put that on first. It also has a Miracle Balm and another Miracle Balm. So I have 2 Miracle Balms. We're going to go ahead and use this makeup today. I'm going to try to be non-biased and to share with you what my thoughts are. So let's read what it says about the eye cream. I guess I did not remember that this was in the kit. Eye cream. I guess you just put this under your eye. I'm just going to use a little bit of the residue that's on the bottom of the plastic container that they put to protect it. I don't recall using this, so I'm not sure how it's gonna work. It feels very hydrating and very creamy. So I've let that eye cream soak in just a little bit. It does, it feels nice and hydrating underneath my eyes, which it should because it's an eye cream. I'm gonna start in with a couple of the Jones Road corrector pencils. This was not included in this kit. These are what I've been using and really, really loving for the past probably year, close to a year. I have 2 colors, one that is lighter and one that is more my skin tone. I use this to correct underneath my eyes, you know, the dark circles here, and I use this to color correct around my face for all the little doodads. So that's where I'm going to start today before I put on the WTF, the What the Foundation. So just a little bit right here and here, and you can see how my dark circle goes around there as well. Then I'm going to take the more skin tone one, and this vein right here has started showing up since my skin has gotten thinner. It gets thinner as we get older, so I'm just going to try to knock that back a little bit and hit any spots. And then right here on my nose, this is from my readers. Maybe you get that too, where your nose is indented or there's a little bit of discoloration from the readers being on our face. So I'm just going to go ahead and use this around my nose, over here. These are all the little things that pop up with age. Now I'm going to take my finger and just work those in. It is the action of your finger and the warmth of your skin that's going to help blend those pencils in. So there's my complexion after using the Jones Road pencils. These have become a staple in my makeup collection. I absolutely love them. Let's go ahead and start in with the foundation. Let me double check what color I got. I tested it on the back of my hand last night and it looked really, really good. So this is Fair. This is in the color Fair, and you can see it right there. The comments I got from the last video I did where I tried this were that I used too much. That was the problem. I used too much. That's what the people who love this line said to me. My thoughts in my head were, well, how am I going to get coverage if I don't use enough to cover? So I don't know. I think it's probably that the people that love this have really dry skin. I don't. I have normal skin. However, my girlfriend who loves this has fairly normal skin too, and it works really well for her. So I'm going to go ahead and just do one side of my face so that we can really compare the coverage. And I'm not going to use very much. That was the complaint. And I'm just going to use my fingers, which for me, I hardly ever use my fingers for makeup. So just this much is how I'm going to start with. And I'm just going to very gingerly, I just put a little bit more on this on my face. Let's see if I can keep it to just one side. Wayne Goss just loves this foundation. And I'll go ahead and link his video down below, the one that I saw that made me think, well, maybe I did it wrong. This feels very silky going on. It really does. It's a very, very hydrating foundation. And remarkably, it doesn't feel really thick, although it is a thicker consistency in the container. All right. So here's the WTF on this side of my face, and this is with no foundation. So no foundation, foundation. No foundation, foundation. What do you guys think? You know, I can see a smoothing of the skin tone on this side. It definitely looks better than this side. But is it enough? You know, is it enough? Is this natural looking? Is this something that would work for you? Now, I suppose once it dries down a little bit, if it ever dries down, that was the problem I had before, is that it never dried down and my hair was sticking to my face and it was annoying. Let's just keep going. I could go back in with one of the corrector pencils when I'm closer to being done with my makeup and touch up any areas that I felt like were not getting enough coverage. So there's the what the F. I'm going to go ahead and do the other side of my face now. Again, not very much product. And I'm just going to dot it on. What I loved about this concept when I first ordered it and spent the $500 is it just seemed so hydrating and quick and kind of the answer to my prayers of being something that looked very natural, did a nice job of covering up the doodads, and was just very fast and very, very easy to wear. I have a little dry spot right here, so that's my skin, not a lack of coverage from the foundation. So there's the foundation all over my face. I think that my skin tone looks evened out. I don't know about the coverage. I don't know if it's quite enough coverage for me. It does feel really good on the skin. It doesn't feel heavy. It doesn't feel drying at all. It feels very, very hydrating. Let's move on now to the Miracle Balms, and I have two from the Pinky kit. One is Flushed. That's the blush and the lip balm. And the other is Magic Hour. This is the highlighter. These two containers are the travel size. When you order them off the website individually, they're the larger size, like the foundation. So my guess is that if you ended up getting the full size of either one of these, you may not need to buy them for the rest of your life. I mean, that's how long they last. They really are a lot of product in these pots. So this is Flushed. I'm going to go ahead and just use my fingers again. My girlfriend who uses this says, I just go swish, 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 and I'm out the door. And I'm like, well, that sounds good. So I'm going to just go ahead and put this on. This is what I remember, that the color payout is not really high. So I'm going to break the top of this. You know how sometimes there's a coating over the top that prevents a lot of the pigment from the product getting on your skin. So I have a little bit more on my finger now. Yeah, so that's better. So if you get these, you might want to just get your finger in there and break that top seal so that you get a little bit more pigment. So that's one. This is very, very hydrating. So if you have the really dry skin that sometimes happens after menopause, it just does, this might be something that you want to look into. But I'll tell you what, I would start with one of these little hero bags. This is under $100 and you got several products in there. this is a good way to start because you're not spending a lot of money and you can try a number of products. All right. So this is the Flush. Not a lot of color payout on this one. And it's very, very hydrating. In other words, right now, my face is sticky. It just is sticky. So that's kind of the back and forth or the trade-off. Do you want the hydration and you're willing to work with your skin being a little bit more moist or having product on it? Not a lot of payout, a lot of hydration. So that's where we have to kind of decide, what are you looking for in a makeup product? Now I'm going to try the highlighter. This color is Magic Hour. Again, I'm going to break that seal a little bit, really actually get my finger in there so that it gets more of the product underneath that seal on top. I'm just going to go here, there. I always put a little on the end of my nose. And you can see the glow on my skin from that. I'm going to go ahead and put a little right underneath my brow, just to add a little bit of pop to that brow bone. So that's the Magic Hour. Again, very hydrating, not real strong color payout, but I do think it adds the glow, which is what I'm looking for. I'm going to do work on my brows now. This is my Jones Road brow pencil. How much have I loved it? I've really gone through this thing. I use this every time I do my makeup. I do love the fact that it is a little fatty boy and it really fills my brow in quickly. I always go back at the end and do a little bit of detail with my e.l.f. really, really thin brow pencil. I'll have that listed down below if you're interested. Very inexpensive, and it does the detail work that I do underneath my brow line, and then also to pull out the tip, because this is a little bit too fat for any detail work. And maybe you don't want detail work in your brow. You know, it's really kind of a personal choice. I am going to use an eyeshadow. I did not get an eyeshadow included in this kit. However, Jones Road does have a line of eyeshadows, and I tried them. I think I was kind of on the fence about it. It was like, you know, okay. I guess I thought it was a little too expensive, but again, a lot of people probably love it. What I'm going to use today, this is from MAC. This is the Paint Pot Painterly. It's a very, very neutral color. The reason I'm going to do it is to cover up the lines and veins and discoloration I have on my lids now because I'm older. That just happens because our skin gets thinner as we get older, so doodads start popping up from underneath our skin as well as we get doodads on top of our skin. So, you know, there we have it. I'm just going to take my finger, get in here, warm it up a little bit. I've had this a while, so it's a little bit more dried out than it would be if this was a new one. A little bit on my finger, and then I'm just going to pat that over my eyelid. I am so loving cream shadows, one and done. That's almost all I wear anymore. So quick, and I love the look. Just really works for me. How are you guys liking the complexion now that it's kind of settled in a little bit? Definitely glowy. What do you think? Time to start in on eyes. Quick curling of the lashes. This is the Rephr eyelash curler. You've heard me say this a million times. Best eyelash curler on the planet. It really does. And I cheaped out for most of my life and just bought drugstore eyelash curlers. Wasted so much money on them. This is not that expensive. It's like in the mid-20s. Totally worth it. Now I'm going to use this pencil to tightline with. This is in the color brown, I'm pretty sure. I don't think it's black. Yeah, this is just brown. There's no fancy name, just brown. And you can see it right here. I'm going to use this to tightline with, you know, and I suppose I could use it for eyeliner, but I don't really do eyeliner anymore. My lids are just really too crinkly. This did work really well as a tightliner. When I'm tightlining, what I'm aiming for is in between the individual lashes. I do want to get that skin underneath the lashes, but I really, really want to hit in between those lashes because that's going to give me that real solid look at the base of my lashes, which are going to make my lashes look a little bit better. Now I'm going to use the Jones Road mascara. I did use this last time. I don't really remember that much about it. So let's go ahead. Okay, it has the standard wand with the brush bristles, not rubber, and it's a little bit curved. So here's the mascara. It went on nice. One of the things that I think has happened in the makeup industry over the years is mascara used to be a little bit of a mystery, and finding a good mascara was rare, but I think the makeup companies have figured it out. I rarely try a mascara these days that isn't just great. They all have raised the bar and they're all pretty good. So this one looks very, very nice and it went on really well. Here's what I've heard from so many people who use the Jones Road product line is they powder it down afterwards. And apparently Jones Road has a powder that you can use to kind of knock back the stickiness. But keep in mind that if you use a finishing powder, it's going to knock back the glow as well and the moisture as well. So I want you to take a look at my face now before I put on a finishing powder. I'm going to use the Hourglass finishing powder today just because I don't want my hair sticking to my face all day long. And let me just show you. So I'll put my hair down and it does. It sticks to my face because of the ingredients in this makeup line. It's just, you know, it's very, very moist and tacky when you feel it with your fingers. I had a lot of people say, well, use a finishing powder. That's what solves that. Here's the dilemma is if I use a finishing powder, it's going to change the look of the makeup a little bit, but we're going to see how much. So here's my face. Get my crazy hair back. Here's my face before the finishing powder. Now I'm going to use the Hourglass Dim Light. Get some on my Rephr brush. This is the number 30 brush, big fluffy brush. And I'm just going to do what I do when I do my makeup normally, and that is just dust this all over my face. The reason I do it all over my face, like on my eyelids, down my neck, is because this powder acts like a filter. It has reflective particles in it that acts like a filter on your face. It distorts the light in a good way to make your skin just look a little bit more flawless, which is why these powders are so popular. And over the eyes. Okay, so here's the makeup with a little bit of finishing powder on it. What do you guys think compared to before the finishing powder? Let me feel. Okay, the tackiness is not totally gone, but it's a little bit better. And I do like the finish. It kind of smooths out my whole complexion just a little bit more. Now I'm going to use the Miracle Balm in Flushed for my lips. And I don't know if there's going to be enough color here, but we're going to try it. This does feel really good on your lips. Actually, I think that's a really pretty color. What do you guys think? So here's the finished makeup. Very quick, very hydrating. Here we have the finished look. What do you guys think? Is it enough for you? Are you really looking for the hydration? Do you need more coverage? Do you think this works for you? Let me share my thoughts. I think it's a nice look. I'm not sure it's the best look that I can get, and I'm not sure it's the best look that I can get quickly. However, it is a nice look. I did powder it down. You guys saw me do that, but my hair still sticks to it. So I know me, and I think that might drive me crazy. I am going to wear this makeup today and see how I feel about it. My experience is that when I try new makeup, if I keep going back to it, that's a signal to me that that really works for me, because I like quick, I like good results, I like to be out of the door without a lot of fuss. When I'm using a product over and over again, I know it fits all those criteria because I know who I am. I'm going to see if I grab for this. Do I grab for this foundation? I do like the flushed on my lips. I think it's a pretty color. No lip liner. I imagine with a lip liner, it would look even prettier. I'm not sure there's enough color on my cheeks. In addition, it appears that my pores are really showing up with that highlighter. I don't know if they're showing up more than normal, or if I'm just noticing it, or if it's a combination of the foundation and the highlighter. This is Magic Hour. Let me show it to you right here, Magic Hour. Although I think this is a really, really pretty color. Maybe those pores show up when I'm using other makeup too, and I'm just not noticing it. I did add a little bit of detail to my brow with the e.l.f. really thin brow pencil. And I did put on another very small coat of mascara. So my eyelashes are a little bit more prominent than they were when I just finished up that you guys saw filmed. So how do I feel about this? You know, I'm kind of in the middle from where I was last time when I just didn't care for it at all to where my girlfriend is, who absolutely loves this. And trust me, she is Little Miss Quick, Quick, Quick. If something takes more than 30 seconds, she's not interested. So she just slaps this stuff on and goes out of the house and looks fabulous. She does the Flushed Miracle Balm and the Magic Hour, slaps on a little bit of mascara. I'm not sure what brand. I don't think it's this brand. And she's out the door and she loves it. I don't know if that's going to be me. I'm going to continue to try it over the next month or so and see if it grows on me, or if I just decide, no, this is not a good thing. I do think the foundation is nice in that it's easy to put on and it just evens out your skin tone. I don't know if I'm going to be able to manage the excess moisture, or what I call stickiness, throughout the day. And you know, it's like right there, I was just having hair stick to me. So there we have Jones Road yet again. A little more gentle comments from me, because I do appreciate the fact that this has been a godsend to so many of you. You absolutely love it. And I can see, if you have really, really dry skin, how this could just be absolutely perfect for you. So this is Jones Road the second time around. What do you think? Let me know down below. Thank you so much for joining me and for sticking with me in taking another look at the line from Jones Road. I hope you had fun. If you did, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. You guys know it just tickles me when you take a few minutes out of your day to spend it with me. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you. Again, I'm Kimberly. This is Pretty Over 50, where we talk everything beauty, fitness, and lifestyle for the over 50 woman. Make it a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.